We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
We'll cut it right there. How's everybody doing? Had to do this video super late night. I guess be careful what you wish for, but at the same time, I hope what happened earlier this evening is actually the first of many encounters and debates with whoever or whatever, or maybe a combination of those things, Adrian Dittmann is. And here's the deal, folks. It's been a week since I've been introduced to what essentially seems to be some sort of avatar or surrogate, human or otherwise, maybe a combo pack of Elon Musk. I want to get this out of the way. What you're going to hear, a 20-minute conversation between myself and Adrian Dittmann. I do not believe I'm talking to Elon Musk. Okay, I really don't. I know there are going to be some people that think that I'm talking to Elon Musk. I don't believe that. We've done previous videos on it, but to kind of give people the way this happened today. Okay, first of all, we're going to play a video from the Alex Jones show when Adrian Dittmann, someone who Alex Jones believes to be Elon Musk, called in via Spaces again. And this time it was before G. Edward Griffin came on. Now, the only reason that I decided to jump in the space was because I was absolutely fascinated about how when I was initially listening to the David Icke, Alex Jones debate and Adrian Dittmann came in, I was convinced, number one, that that was Elon Musk, and number two, whatever was talking was a human being. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, Jason, AI has not gone that far. Before we even get there, okay, I'm not saying this is an AI. I'm saying that's a very real possibility. And if it is an AI, it's an extremely convincing one. So before we play this video, and whether it's an AI or not, if it's not Elon Musk, which I don't believe it to be, but it could be at certain times. I would imagine whatever's going on, Musk probably has access to this account as well. But that's another story for plausible deniability, et cetera, et cetera. I want people to realize how far AI has come. Now, these are just two different articles right here, stacked. Sora, OpenAI. Now, the deepfake stuff and the prompting via Photoshop and Midjourney and DALL-E, etc., has been quite incredible, but almost with a cartoon-esque feel And to get it honed into reality is very difficult. People make fun of the hands. The video that was just released, and Sam Altman, again, we've been talking a lot of OpenAI recently as well, especially with his blockchain token people, okay? It's incredible. If you look at the Sora prompts and the videos that are being delivered, it's game-changing. Now, what's available to you and I right now at a commercial level for avatars and AI and deepfaking of yourself, or really anybody, is also incredible. So I want to show you something right here, okay?
You can finally...
Okay, before we even do this, I want everybody to, I'm going to make a big screen right here. Let's make sure we got it on. Is it on HD? We want to make sure we got it on the best possible quality for everybody. There we go. Okay, watch this.
You can finally turn yourself into an AI avatar for free. In the process, it only takes 5 minutes. And all you need is your phone.
Wow, that was not so bad. A little bit stiff, but that was my AI avatar.
Now, in the next 13 minutes of the video, or really take about 10, he takes you step by step how that was created. And other than recording showing you the 2.5 minutes of video he had to record, you just watched a digital avatar. All right, now it's not interacting in real time, et cetera, but it's there. And what else is really incredible is you can translate it into any language, and it auto-translates the language and accent and the lip movements. That alone is going to change the game. Okay. So now I'm going to play me talking to Alex Jones. And again, Alex Jones is convinced that Adrian Dittmann is Elon Musk. Well, if that's the case, then I just debated Elon Musk for 20 minutes, guys. No joke. All right, but I don't believe that's what's going on. By the way, after I play not just this video, but the actual debate with myself and Elon Musk, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take questions and comments. So while you watch the debate, let me know. We're going to watch that straight through. Like I said, that alone is 20 minutes. But then we're going to talk about it after the fact. Maybe I'm missing something. I'd love to get everybody's theory on what's actually happening here. So first, let's play this video of the Alex Jones show with the spaces and me coming on and talking not only about Elon Musk, but Adrian Dittmann, and then really sparking a Musk debate between Jones and G. Edward Griffin, which I was very happy to hear, actually. Props to G. Edward Griffin, just like I give him in this video right here. So let's go to that video. Where are we? Boom, right here.
Was muted, but I'm on now. It's Bermas.
Yep.
Just to let everybody know. Okay, Alex, first of all, G. Edward Griffin, living legend. That's why he was a part of the documentary film that you produced, Invisible Empire. You know, beyond just cancer, globalism, so much more. G. Edward Griffin is the man. I was actually at that Red Pill conference out in Des Moines, still a workhorse, and more relevant today than ever. The reason I was on the space is this Dittmer situation. You know, Alex, I listened to your debate with David Icke on Friday, and I was in and out, and I was on the road. And when I tuned back in and quote unquote Dittmer was on, obviously I was convinced that that was Elon Musk. You know, after I started doing some research, you know, he held like a 6-hour space after that of what or who this is. I'm just blown away because to me, there's only two possibilities. Dittmer is either, like you said, an advanced AI or a surrogate for Musk that is kind of playing a part. And I think that also there's this interchangeable quality where he could also act like a dummy account for Musk himself. In other words, Musk has access to Dittmer, obviously, and it could be Musk.
Yeah, Jason, let me just tell you, it's Elon Musk. I can tell you that for sure.
Well, Alex, are you aware that they actually did a space together in July where they had like a 20+ minute conversation? And when
yeah, but he's able to do that because he goes back and forth and does it. It's all a big troll.
Well, I would love to have an opportunity to debate Dittmer on many subjects. Alex, you're killing it. The show is more interesting than ever. Keep it up.
Well, thank you. Now,
so they have their conversation, and little old Jason Bermas here actually spent pretty much most of Wednesday trying to, listen, right now, here's the other thing, guys. Look at this. Right now, this is another reason this really can't be Musk. Or it can't be Musk all the time. All right? And we're going to decide. You're going to tell me what I just talked to for 20 minutes. But right now, if I hit this, what? Dittmer is holding another space. Look. He's like, and these have been going on for hours. I mean, my conversation with Dittmer was 8:30 my time about 4 hours ago. But here we are. And it's going on right now. And by the way, you can't really do it through a desktop for some reason. So it's very bizarre. And actually, I do want to preface this when we do listen to this. On my end, I taped it on my phone. I usually don't use this. I put it on this thing, okay? I usually use another phone because every time I do spaces, like when I was doing the big Epstein spaces, I'd only hear like every other word. Now, it's going to come through crystal clear on the video I rendered because I taped it on the phone, and it was really accidental, actually. I literally lucked out because I spent all day trying to get on a space and speak the other day. Wasn't able to do it, and like I said, these things are running all day. But I saw he had just started one, and actually I accidentally hit the request to speak. They gave it to me and went to me right away. That's why for the first 10 seconds, you'll only hear Adrian Dittmer, and then I will come in, and you're going to watch the debate right now. Without further ado, the Dittmer-Bermas debate, and I just want to say and expand on one thing. At one point, we start talking about the metaverse, the multiverse, reality in general. You guys that have watched me forever, you've heard my expanded ideas on why I think those are not coherent with an actual free will, and I think we are in base reality right here. I wasn't really able to express them as much as I would have liked because Dittmer just kept steering the conversation. But here we go. Alex Jones believes I just debated Elon Musk. I don't believe that necessarily. And here's the other thing, guys. If I'm debating an AI that maybe doesn't even know it's an AI, first of all, publicly, the Turing test has not been passed. Well, something like this obviously passes the Turing test. And if it's being revealed on this level through X, I think this account is from January of 21 and maybe developed over time. You know, this is Andy Kaufman on another, forget this, digital Tony Clifton all over the place. Everything about this account mirrors Musk in every sense, to the point of this person gets angry really when I ask my first questions. And look, I want to be respectful. I want to keep it cool. I want to have a real debate. And whatever or whoever I debated with, in the long run, that's how it turned out. So here we go, everybody. Here is me versus possibly an AI clone of Musk. I don't really know.
We have a few new faces here. Jason, what's up? Pretty good, pretty good.
Adrian, I've got a question for you. You know, obviously you've been on the Alex Jones show recently. I wonder what you think about Tesla's partnership with CureVac during the pandemic to print up the mRNA shots via the microfactories.
I am not going to discuss that.
Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to discuss that?
We're not doing medical stuff today. We're not doing medical stuff today. Anything else?
I was just wondering, during that time period, it was reported that you made a 600% profit during the COVID pandemic. Is that accurate?
What?
Well, it's a
Who's you?
It's a Newsweek article that says.
I don't know what insinuations you'd be making here, man.
I'm not making any kind of insinuations.
You?
I want to know if the reporting is accurate. You can.
How did I make? I didn't make any money at all from that, from COVID in any way. As a matter of fact, what I was working on at the time was quite detrimental for profits, even though I was doing something that classified me as an essential worker, which allowed me to do a lot of things still. What did I do? I literally built walls and shit. I was doing heavy construction at the time, and administrative work. I had to do both. but because there were restrictions and I was the only one who could move around. So that's what I did. But I didn't make any 600% off of anything, least of all any COVID medication of any kind. So I'm not sure what kind of insinuations you'd be making here. I'm pretty sure you must have me confused with someone else. Is that a potential?
Well, obviously you're Adrian Dittmann and not Elon Musk, but it is in mainstream
news. Why are you making the insinuation? Yeah, so why are you making an insinuation that someone made money with that? Where is this info coming from? What would lead you to this conclusion?
it's a Newsweek article. Anybody can pull it up. Newsweek
a Newsweek
reported that.
Article. Can you show me where it says Adrian Dittmann in that newsweek?
Well, obviously not Mr. Dittmann, but
where does it show
seeing
that?
as you're almost an identical clone to Mr. Musk, I would just wonder how you would answer that question.
I don't believe this. This is hilarious.
Well, again, I'll read you the headline. It's Elon Musk's net worth rose 600% to $175 billion during the pandemic.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's Elon. That's not me. Got any other?
Well, it just seems very odd that you debate everything as though you are Elon Musk, but not Elon Musk. So I was just wondering
how. Can you be more specific as to how that is the case?
How that is the case? Well, I mean, you're telling everybody that you're in manufacturing. Your account is very much a promotion of obviously everything Musk, from Tesla to SpaceX to AI. And you jumped into a debate between Musk and Ike that was based on AI and Elon Musk. So I'm fascinated, Adrian. I've just got to tell you.
This was a debate between. It was a debate between Ike and Alex Jones, and then it became a debate between me and him and Alex Jones, because he was talking a bunch of nonsense about how you could see the simulation better if you saw Wi-Fi fields. I'm like, he's lucky. He was lucky that I wasn't at full capacity that day because I had other things to do at the same time, which is obviously also shown in the recording, because otherwise I would have torn him a new one. I mean, I understand that you want to talk about, say, how the simulation works and everything that it is, and I understand you want to go down that theory, but I find it's an interesting thing, especially the correlation of him starting to speak about this stuff quite heavily, pretty much right after the Matrix movie dropped. So I'm pretty sure that's just a coincidence, but I mean, hey, if we're going to go by the same logic of coincidences, perhaps we should say that's a correlation. Wouldn't you agree?
Depending, I know that Ike had Children of the Matrix back in '99 when he started to explore the simulation theory. I don't necessarily buy into the simulation theory. Obviously, AI has become more.
What are you talking about? We're all plugged into video game here. It's next level, man. Have you seen the resolution? I want you to literally put your head to the ground and see bro, the resolution is so next level. It's amazing. They built telescopes and they still can't figure out where the render border is.
Well, I think that we actually are in base reality, Adrian. So that's where I kind of differ from both you and Musk.
How would you know the difference? How would you know the difference? I mean, you have really basic senses of the world, as do we all. They may be very advanced, and some of these senses we're not aware of because we are simply not taught that they exist. They do. Some senses, like proprioception, for instance, nobody knows what the fuck that is, but that's something very essential that allows you to locate your body parts in space and as they move around. You ever wonder how is it possible for your for you to say type without looking at the actual keys themselves? Well, you remember where exactly your body parts were in space whenever you hit a certain key, right? And so that allows you to do that. So this is an example. You have several senses that allow you to function in the world, but also you have a limited, you still have limited perception, even though you have all these amazing senses that allow you to maneuver through the world. So based on these limited senses, including, of course, not being able to, say, perceive gravity, at least not as we're aware of, how would you know? I mean, the universe is infinitely connected. That's all that it is, really. It's a huge, dense network of many different things that is causality. And if you look at it from that perspective, it's really difficult. If you could see this, if I could see this, then I could reach out and just by the sheer power of my will, take a thread of reality, hold it and tug it and see what happens. Now, you can't do that because one, you don't know what's there. Two, you can't interface with it because not only do you not know, but you don't have this. The data is just not there. The access point is just not there. Maybe at some point there is, but you can't just start modifying reality. That's one way you can say, okay, you know what? Maybe we're in a simulation, we're not aware of it. But even as so, it doesn't actually change much about reality. It just changes something about your awareness of it and how you would want to function within it. Like there's two types of people here in this world. Actually, there's three. By and large, would be one that says, I will do as much as I can to benefit myself within the simulation, and others, I will self-destruct, or I simply move on and don't care, right? So I don't understand, like, there's base reality or not, it simply doesn't matter. So I don't get it.
Well, it matters to me in the sense that I think there's a correlation with this idea of a metaverse and a multiverse that almost extinguishes human free will, because after all, if everything is
what
happening,
is human free will?
Well, let me hear me out. If
what is human free will?
If everything is supposedly happening within a multiverse, in other words, every single scenario, or you can replicate.
Hang on a second. What the hell? Okay, so hang on a second. How did we immediately jump from baseline reality to multiverse theory and then somehow blending that with the metaverse? Like, okay, Zuck fan or I don't understand.
I only use the metaverse. I only use the metaverse as a virtual.
We're gonna bring it back down to earth real quick.
Yeah, well, I only use.
Yeah, no, I don't. You don't need to use this because it doesn't make any sense. You're like kind of blundering up in your own arguments. I want you to come back to this. And then zoom out, and then go back in. Discard the whole metaverse nonsense, discard the whole multiverse nonsense, and reapproach this idea. What are you talking about?
Well, again, if we're in a simulation theory, and this is not base reality, that plays into the idea that multiple realities are playing out. I'm sure that you're aware of some of the quantum theory out there regarding the multiverse, correct?
Yeah, but that's still part of the simulation, though.
But if it is a simulation, then it might as well also be the multiverse, because again, now, I'm not saying it's at the level now where
it doesn't matter. So what is this? How does this matter?
Well,
how
again,
does this play into free will? Again, we're back to free will. Let's roll back because I just remember where you were stuck.
And I'm going to try to bring it back to free will.
How do we have free will? Specifically,
again,
how? Specifically, how do we have free will? In your opinion, because you say we have a restriction on free will based on our expansion of our senses. So how does that work?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part. Are you asking me how I feel that we have free will as individuals?
Yes. I want you to define free will, and then I also want you to explain how exactly it makes any sense whatsoever to say that our free will is restricted based on our ability to, say, extend our senses, extend and expand our ability to perceive reality in a better way due to something like, say, augmentation, given that this is the mode of how we got here via David Icke's arguments, right?
Well, if we're talking about augmentation, I think that's a separate argument. But
I want you to answer the questions.
Sure.
Can you answer me what is free will, and then tell me how that is at all limited if we are expanded in our perception?
Okay, so I believe free will is an individual making decisions on their own behalf based on the information that surrounds them. Okay, is that fair?
Yes, and now tell me how exactly our free will would be restricted if we had more access to this information, because that's exactly what it is. So you'd be able to have more free will because you know more, thereby have more choices and the ability to make even better choices that benefit you even more as an individual system. By the way, this is how your definition of free will kind of blends into my definition of sentience, but that's a completely different topic. We'll get into that later. But still, how exactly is there a limiting factor on free will if I have simply more of what makes your free will bigger?
You broke up several times there, Mr. Dittmann. But for
let me put it back. Okay, let me repeat myself again. Mm-hmm. You said free will, and the ability for you to have free will is kind of predicated on the ability to perceive information, to function as an individual system based on the information that you're able to perceive. So how exactly would that be limited if we had more information?
Well, I'm all for more information, and I'm just not for permanent or surgical human augmentation, maybe on the level that you're trying to provide, or Musk is trying to provide.
I'm not trying to provide anything.
I think the human brain. I think human brain interfaces, especially of the non-invasive variety, would provide humanity with more information. I think that's actually a positive tool of technology.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. I mean, it depends. Dude, here's the thing. I don't understand where the problem is. If you take something like Neuralink, for example, when Elon speaks of this, it's sometimes a bit fantastical. And the reason why he does this, or fantasize rather, he does this to get you to be optimistic about the future. In his eyes, this is an optimistic thing. In many other eyes, it is not so much. And I understand exactly where everyone's coming from with this. Personally, I don't think I want Neuralink to write things into my brain. However, I want Neuralink to have, say, to allow hardware to function more properly. Like, say, for instance, I have a problem with my leg, or say my limbs give up at a certain age. I would want to have these components of my body be replaced with something that allows me to function better. Or let's say, imagine if somebody has a severe disability, like say a veteran, they lost their legs, they can't do anything. Well, you want legs, right? You want legs again. You want a robot leg. How best to interface with that? Well, you do it via Neuralink. Or what if you have a paraplegic? You want a Neuralink because you have to interface with the rest of the body. Basically, some of the reasons why paraplegics do not function anymore in a mobility sense is because the connection that allowed the rest of their bodies to function, that connection was broken. Actually, sometimes you can there's a specific type of therapy for these people when they're still fresh off the injury, where movement could be somehow made such that these connections are reestablished. And so the problem is, if that is not done, then these connections remain permanently severed, and then you can't do anything about it again. But what you could do is you could bridge that gap, and that bridge could be Neuralink. You understand? Because it's just information, it's just reading information. It's just reading information out of the brain and then sending that to your legs to function a specific way. And then again, there are other elements that you'd have to probably consider, like say reading information that is being received by the legs and putting that back into the information. So now you need read and write access for Neuralink into the brain. So this read and write access, it really just depends on how exactly that functions. It does not necessarily mean that we're going to have an AI that controls us and our brains. It may actually just feel more like Cortana and Halo, right, if you think about it this way, if that ever becomes a reality. But for now, it is simply going to read information out of your brain, pass it on to your legs, take the information out of your legs, pass it back into your brain. Make sense?
Well, obviously it makes sense, and I've been following human-brain interfaces now for well over 2 decades, and I understand the need for people that maybe can't see. We've had optical implants for some time, and obviously paralysis is something to look at. But I also see the work of BlackRock, for instance, BlackRock Neurotech and others focusing on things like PTSD. And I think that when you get into the realm of quote unquote mental health, that's extremely dangerous, because who makes those decisions? Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, you don't have to. Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to buy their product. You don't have to buy their product. It's a free market for now, anyways, and I hope it stays a free market, personally. So, I mean, I don't understand the argument. What is the actual argument?
Well, my argument.
I understand you don't want to take. Your argument right now, as I perceive it, would be you not wanting to take BlackRock's product if they make one. Well, you don't have to.
Well, again, my argument would be that this technology obviously could be used to empower humanity if used in the sense that you're talking about with paralysis, etc. But it could also be used to enslave humanity if it was actually hardwired into us and commercialized. And that's why I like to look at non-invasive human brain interfaces.
Yeah, but how though? That's the only way it works. It is as invasive as it needs to be. If you want to look, if you want to look at it from a perspective of invasiveness, it is as invasive as it needs to be. Now, because again, like what I said, this thing needs to do complete a certain task, and say the example of a person who is a victim of paralysis, right? It's information, and it has to take this information, pass it on to another place where there isn't any, and then take back the information that this stuff then gives back. We discussed this. Now, what I want you to focus on, what I want you to answer me is, what's the problem? Again, you're saying it's commercialized. Well, yes, it is. It depends. What I'm saying is, it doesn't depend on whether or not it's commercialized. It depends on what is done with it afterwards, perhaps user side and also adversary side. But at the same time, it also depends on whose product it is. Your Tesla car, tell me how many instances of Tesla car going rogue there are. There aren't any. Theoretically speaking, You could target a Tesla and just simply turn it off, but that does not happen. It just does not. It doesn't turn into a massive bot army. Your current existing ICE car actually is worse. You can control that thing by remote. You can make that thing crash into a wall. Actually, that's how several people have been killed thus far. There's actual proof of this. I can show you it, right? So a Tesla is more secure from that perspective, right? If we wanted to think of, let's say, examples of products made by the same company that will then also be making Neuralink, right? Have you ever been in a Tesla? Have you ever used any of Elon's products?
I have. I do not own a Tesla or anything that by any means. And again, I think that some of the products are obviously innovative. I worry when I see somebody who's a billionaire who has got this cult of personality and following, and the technology, whether or not it remains in his hands or is ever really in his hands in the first place, is something that could so heavily affect humanity in a negative sense.
What operating system do you use on your PC?
I'm sorry, what operating system is what?
What operating system do you use on your PC?
Unfortunately, I use Windows, sir.
As if that was somehow the worst option. No, the worst option is definitely iOS. Second tier comes Windows, and then on top of all of them, best I think is Linux. Secure-wise, everything better. For Windows, it is controlled by centralized entity, and you could say, well, it has a lot of problems. Microsoft, right? They don't even know. Oh boy, right? So here's the thing. You have a person who's very charismatic and very capable. His personality is of a very specific kind. It unifies people who would want change. I would say rather it unifies the types of people who are sick and tired of the way things are and the stagnant growth of the world, and wish to see things happen in a much more effective and efficient way. It's like you could do so much good for the world, and there's always something standing in your way. And I think this is kind of like this is basically his school of thought, essentially, right? You can do something much better for the world. And then many people are attracted to this, and they support what he's doing because they see themselves in this guy. How is that a bad thing?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but again, I don't think the technology is inherently benevolent. And, you know, when you talk about operating systems, listen, I'm not bragging. I'm on Windows. I realize there are better options out there. I'm only so much of a tech dork. But for instance, when you talk about Tesla software, isn't most of that baseline running on some type of augmented Android system?
I'm sorry, can you do that again? I was doing something.
Yes, I was saying the operating system that Tesla utilizes in their vehicles, and I know that you're using an offshoot for the Optimus bot. Isn't that based in Android?
No, that's based, I think, on Linux. I can tell you what their web developer portal is made of. I'm not telling you that one. I'm not looking for that heat.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Adrian, I appreciate the conversation. Unfortunately, life calls. I have to go pick up my niece. I'm going to be joining these spaces, and again, I appreciate the conversation. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of what you have to say, but I'm glad that you're doing these things.
Yeah, I like debate. That's why I have these spaces.
Well, excellent. I hope to have the opportunity to debate you again, sir, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Anytime. Likewise. Bye-bye. Now, was that a good debate or what? That was nice.
Now, was that a good debate or what? That was nice. Now, it's really odd, right? The whole thing seems just super, super odd to me, the interaction. I want to get your take. What do you think that just happened there? Like, the thing is pretty convincing, right? Like, I even said, I did have to go pick up my niece. It's funny, when I got into the car and I had my niece in the car, I put the spaces back on to listen to, and Elon actually referenced the debate earlier and talked about how he was pacing and how he had, or Elon. See, I called it Elon again. It's not Elon, Adrian. I got to stop. I don't know what's going on. And by the way, like he was asking my PCs. I'm not a Mac guy, and I'm running all this stuff. I have all sorts of devices, right? I've iOS the least. I have a lot of Android stuff. I have a lot of Windows-based stuff. I've even got one phone that runs on Graphene OS, which is augmented Android. I'm obviously nowhere near the tech dork of the actual Elon Musk or whoever or whatever this is. But pretty wild, right? I'm hoping we can have conversations about SpaceX, about nanosats, about NASA, more about human brain interfaces. I mean, right now, again, I think that there's a chance that this guy is still doing it, right? Like, there's absolutely a chance that if I search Adrian Dittmann, no, Dittmann has now closed it. That was from he's running 8-hour spaces all the way through. That was a great start. Who is Dittmann? That's the great question. Listen, you guys all see the thumbnail, right? Like, it's kind of a joke, but it's not a joke. Like, this is it. We're guys, I keep talking about it, but we're here. We're in the post-truth world now. I showed you in the beginning of this, I showed you the AI creations. We're going to be doubting media more and more and more. Okay? But at the end of it, whatever or whoever it was actually appreciated the conversation. I felt I was a little bit overrun. I never really got to express why I believe the multiverse, the metaverse, all that would negate free will. And it's very simple. If you're running simulation after simulation after simulation and every possibility in every one of these multiverse places actually exists, right? All these things are going on. You never really have the free will to decide. You're just a part of that system. Miriam, how are you? It's a glimpse at our world now, truth plus fiction. He plays into it while also denying he's Elon. Look, like, that could very well be like a trained... Here's what I don't think it is. Like, what are the chances that's just some like mega troll? Like it's Andy Kaufman on steroids and Elon has no connection to it at all. I think that's pretty small, right? I think there is the possibility of a hired individual or hired individuals given certain scripts and talking points they're used to.
And then they have a much better Elon voice mod than I do. And you can get excited sometimes, but not.
I mean, I have the commercial Elon voice mod, right? I've got the Zuck too. Like, there are just some things that seem a little robotic about it, but then there are things that are robotic about Musk himself. So like the surrogate idea, I think is more. I think the least likely would be somebody independently doing this and having the free time to do it. And again, this is also, I think 100% that this cannot be Elon Musk 100% of the time, right? Like, I want to make that very clear. And I don't know if it's Elon Musk any of the time. But if it was set up by Musk, this is part of PR or the ultimate troll. I mean, this is Andy Kaufman on steroids, right? That I would think that Elon would have access to the account at times and then be able to debate people. So this Dittmann thing, man, I think it's wild. But it's also going to be the closest I probably ever get to actually debating the real thing. Although, who knows? You never know. And I want the conversations. Look, guys, people are asking, hey, Jason, where you been? 5-day-a-week show, patriot.tv. All right. I just interviewed Conrad Black for an hour, everybody. We talked about Robert Maxwell at a point. Okay, I'm not going to give away the goods. Go check it out. I had Riley Gaines on the show this morning. And then I had, it's killing me that I can't remember this, Trevor Loudon. And Trevor Loudon and I did not see eye to eye on a lot of things. So, making sense of the madness, hopefully, things are rolling. I hope you're going to check those stuff out. I think the cloak is the fake name, so it can't be proven that it's him. But it's definitely, I don't think it's him. I'm just saying. You're at Antarchipelago? It looks like it can be an AI or voice synthesizer. It could, and again, if it is an AI, it's good enough that it's tricking people into believing it's human, including myself. Again, when I jumped into the conversation, again, I was listening to the Jones-Ike debate. Ike was bringing up Musk promoting a carbon tax. I went to have lunch. I came out and I thought I was hearing a recording of Musk talking about simulation theory and Ike. And then listening to that interaction, I obviously thought that was Elon Musk at the time. And now I've gone down this rabbit hole, and now I've actually interacted with Adrian Dittmann, basically again, I just got unlucky. My hand grazed the wrong phone. I didn't even have everything set up. That's why it wasn't on this virtual set. So yeah, I think it could be it could be an AGI. It hints at it all the time. Like, think about this too. It's not just an imitation. It answers the questions almost 100% as you'd expect Musk to. And think about it. Like, that's some Black Mirror shit right there, if that's what's going on. What were all those Elon Bitcoin videos? It's a big scam train is what it is. I don't think so, bro. I'm being real. Listen, if it was Musk himself, I think I'd be a little bit more nervous. I'll be honest. I mean, you watched me. I'm not nervous at all at that. Maybe that's kind of the point. Maybe that's part of the troll. I don't know, man. I guess, again, that's why we're making it a checkbox right here. All right. So, I sent my boy Kurt Metzger down this rabbit hole, and he says he likes his buddy Dunnigan's impression better. And by the way, we're going to get Kurt back on. I was hounding him to come on the last couple days, but my brother actually just drove up from upstate New York, so another reason I didn't go till late. He fell asleep over on the couch after a long drive. We were watching some fights tonight, a little BKFC, a little BKFC, a little 1FC. Both didn't disappoint. Because that is what it's all about, by the way. To me, those are the secrets of the universe. That's part of the consciousness. It's not just programming. It's not a simulation. It's a human connection that can't be replicated. And when we talk about enhancements, boy, oh boy, when I look at the record of those in charge, especially the Predator class in charge right now, and giving them any kind of domain over me and my body, and also the idea that there aren't non-invasive human brain interface options when, thought to text devices that were wearables have been publicly demonstrated over the last decade. And that's the type of technology that I feel like we need to be going for, not hardlining things in. And really, when you get beyond that, guys like Kurzweil believe eventually it's going to be basically injectables or aerosolized nanobots that just turn off basically all of our functions that let us experience the sensory bounds around us, even to the limited capacity we have now, and put us in a virtual reality that's indistinguishable. I don't know. There's a lot out there. Guys, we did it. We got the first debate with Dittmann. I want more. I want more and 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 more Dittmann debates. So support the broadcast. You know what the deal is. The links are down below. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. The coffees, the PayPals, the sharing the videos. I want some sleuths. Now think about this too. I'll leave you with this. Another thing that makes me really obviously believe this is not Elon Musk or some kind of weird setup is the Ike Jones debate happened. Not one mainstream media outlet has picked up that Elon Musk called into that debate, or that Elon Musk called in again last week, when the mainstream media loves trashing Alex Jones and Elon Musk. So, if somebody, and again, you do have that interaction between Dittmann and Musk for 20, I bring it up on the Jones show, etc. The mystery's out. Leave the comments below on everything. Hit me with the DMs. Let me know what you think's going on with Adrian Dittmann. Start hitting the spaces. But I think it's fascinating. I find Adrian Dittmann, I was being real. I find the whole thing fascinating. And if it's Dittmann, I have to debate on a lot of the subjects that I speak about. That's fine. It's a start. Guys, I love you. You know the drill. It's not about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. And I'll see you on the flip side.